guys, thanks for joining me again with the Ecstasy Crafts. I wanted to show off a couple of the different projects that we made using our Black Friday Christmas bundle, just to give you some inspiration and maybe get you motoring on a couple of those Christmas cards if you purchase the bundle. If you didn't purchase the bundle, not to worry. I'm sure you'll still find lots of inspiration from these projects. So we've got a few different cards that we're going to be making in this video. And I hope you enjoy. If you want some more details, you can head to our blog at ecstasycrafts.com to get all of the specifics. So let's get going. So for our first card, we're going to feature a cut sheet that was in the Christmas bundle from Mary Ann. So I've got my card base, which is about 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Make sure your crease is lovely. Then I've got my gorgeous dark green cardstock. I've applied double-sided tape to the back of it. And now note, I have cut this 1/4 inch smaller than my cardstock base, just to give a nice crisp edge. Now here's where we would put just our square from the cut sheet and add our sentiment on there. But I'm going to do something a little different than our first example with some gnomes. So I've put a little edger from our configurations bundle on this blue cardstock, and I've cut it the same size as our green, and I'm just going to tack it on there with the double-sided tape, and I just love the green poking out the side there. Now we are going to apply our double-sided foam to our little gnome friends there, just to pop it up a bit, give it some depth. Then we're going to move over to our gilding polish in Pearl Luster and just dab a coarse brush into that and swirl it around, make it like a little blizzard there on the paper to give our winter gnomes a nice little wintry environment to sit on. So just swirl it on, just can be quick. You don't have to take your time too much. I like seeing the actual swirls from the brush on there, so that's why I didn't use a foam applicator. But you can do whatever kind of effect you want on there, or just leave it plain if that's what you're into. So we're going to set that aside to dry, and we're going to stamp our sentiment. So using a stamp from the Christmas bundle, I'm going to put my little cardstock on there and use my magnets on my Stamping Buddy Pro to secure that. Make sure it's lined up nice. You can use the grid lines to make sure your sentiment's straight. And then we will pick it up with our stamping platform. I'm using that dark green again from Versaclair. Just going to get that an even coat on my stamp. And there you go. Stamp that on. I like to do a double coat just to make sure it's nice and opaque. Get that on there so you have good coverage. Let it dry for a second. Celebrate the season. So nice. So we'll stick our sentiment on the dark green background. I also applied some of the Pearl Luster onto that. I've just attached the sentiment with my double-sided tape. Line it up as straight as you can get it. And there you have it. We will stick that onto our card. So we'll line our gnomes up with our foam tape, get them secured on. Beautiful. I like to have it up in the upper half, or a little bit more up from the corner so that we have room for our sentiment. It doesn't block too much of the picture. And there you have it. Celebrate the season. 2 cute cards from the same set. For our second card, we've got a Holly Jolly Christmas card. We're going to be featuring our poinsettia die from Creative Expressions. So we start with our card base at 4 1/4 by 6 inches, and then I cut a sheet of gold cardstock 1/4 inch smaller than the base and attach that with some double-sided tape. Beautiful gold cardstock. Then I go in with my white cardstock again, applying my double-sided tape just to create that gold frame around the white that we will build the rest of our card on. So this is a 1/4 inch smaller than the gold cardstock. So we're building those layers. So we'll set that aside. And then we will create the green background using that same Versaclear ink that we are going to cut our sentiment out of using the D's Dies Holly Jolly die that comes in the Christmas bundle. So smear that green ink and blend that around. I like it a little, not perfectly blended, just to give an effect of kind of some holly. So then we're going to cut out all of our dies. I've been using my Go Power and emboss machine. So you put your sheets together and sandwich those between the plates with your die and run it through, guys. This machine makes cutting dies a breeze. I absolutely love it. So you run that through, no problem, and you can see it cuts perfectly. Cuts out our poinsettias. So we've cut out our sentiment, and now we are going to finish cutting out the rest of our little poinsettia frame. Now this die is actually smaller than the size that we're making this card, so we are just going to expand it a little bit by clipping it apart and kind of blowing it up. So we're going to attach these pieces onto the gold frame that we built with our first gold layer. So it's going to look like the frame goes around the entire card. So we're going to fudge it a little bit by giving that effect. So we're just trimming up the die to the size that matches our 1/4 inch gold frame, and we will attach those on with some craft glue. So once you get them snipped up, I love this attachment for my Cosmic Shimmer craft glue. It has a perfect needle nose point, and it has the little metal insert that goes back in there to just clear your nozzle of any dried up glue while you're working. So the flow is beautiful and the accuracy is, I really love it. It's unmatched in my books. So I get my glue going, and we will attach these poinsettias. So with our gold layer attached, we're going to do a similar thing with the deep red layer that we cut out using the same die. I'm just going to cut out any of the poinsettia elements, and I'm going to make some of those little berry shaped things red as well. So I'm just going to cut those elements out of this die cut using a little pair of scissors. Be careful, try and be as accurate as you can. Just kind of cut them out of the frame. And I love this idea. It just really makes it pop against the gold, and we are going to lay those right on top. So I'm just trimming up any wayward edges there, and then I'm going to apply the glue to the very center of the poinsettia so that the center is secured and we can kind of pop up the petals of the poinsettia to create some dimension in the card. So I'm going to do that for all 3 poinsettias, and then I'm going to cut out and attach. You can use glue, you can use little teensy tiny foam tabs, whatever you want. We just want to make them pop and create a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to cut out my berries and attach all of them. So with all of our berries on, we're going to attach our sentiment that we cut out from that green ink that we added to our cardstock. So Holly Jolly. Again, I'm going to use my handy dandy little skinny nozzle on my glue and apply that on and arrange those how I see fit in a nice order, just to get them all placed in around the frame, or within the frame, I suppose. And we will get those stuck on there. Again, you could use little foam tabs if you so wished. So once we have all of our elements on there, I'm just going to finish it off with 2 gold pearls, 1 in each empty corner. And there you have it, Holly Jolly. Don't forget to pop up the petals of your poinsettias and enjoy your card. On to our third and final Christmas card. We're going to make up a little card featuring the Christmas house die from Frantic Stamper. So to get us started, I've already got my card base set there. We're going to have a red backdrop, and you can see the embossing folder that I use for the background to create the Christmas scene. So we've already embossed that. Now I'm going to highlight the snow in this scene with a little Glitter Kiss polish in Frosty Sparkle. It makes the perfect snow. I'm just going to apply a coat of that with a little paintbrush just so that I can get it in the nooks and crannies there. And I love this Glitter Kiss for snow. It just adds a gentle sparkle. It's just gorgeous. Not over the top glitter, but a little glitter for the holidays. So I just apply that all across. You could put it anywhere, but I'm just choosing kind of where I see the snowbanks in the embossed scene here, just to make them pop out a bit. I'm also going to add that Frosty Sparkle to the icicles that are going to hang down from the roof of our little Christmas house. So I just put a nice light coat on them, and you can make it as thick as you want to really add more texture. Oop. Keep it right side up. And there's another little peak on the roof that I will also add some Glitter Kiss to. So we've got all of the little pieces cut out for our Christmas house, and we're going to use our dual-tipped brush markers from Prism to color this in, along with our water brush pen. So I'm just going to scribble on a plastic sheet the colors that I think I'm going to want to blend together to make my house. So I've got some nice browns here, and these Prism markers have a wide range of colors, guys, so you're going to be able to find everything you want. So we're going to take our little water brush with the water filled in the inside and use it just like a little watercolor brush pen to pick up our color, blend up whatever custom color we want, and we're just going to lay it on to our house. This is the base of our house, so this is what all the other elements are going to be attached onto. So I'm just going for a nice smooth finish, some nice brick colors or a wooden house, whatever this brown makes you think of. So it's really easy to get a base layer on there, guys, and I'm kind of keeping it a little darker to the one side, and you'll see me continue this with all of the different elements on the house just to give a kind of shaded effect. So I'm keeping it light on the right side and shading it on the left side. So just blending it, and do whatever makes you happy. You could make this house any color you wanted. I was kind of getting some gingerbread house vibes, so that's what I went with. I'm just adding in some more pigment there from my brush marker and picking it up to continue coloring my door. Again, I'm just going to outline the door in a darker color, and then I'm going to fill it in, keeping it darker on the left side and lightening it up as I get to the right. And guys, this might take a little bit of practice if you haven't used this method before for coloring, but trust me, it's super simple. I don't have much practice with this, and I think I did an okay job with it. So I'm going to color in the rest of the elements of the house using this method. So we finished off our roof and door, all of our shutters. Now I'm just going to color in our little windows as well as our Christmas lights using a nice golden yellow, and I'm going to keep it nice and dark near the bottom, nice and vibrant, and then lighten it up as if there's maybe a nice soft glow of a candle coming through the window and the lights radiating upwards. So I'm going to do that with all 4 windows and also the little light bulbs on our string of Christmas lights. So we're going to move on to kind of our Christmas decor items. So I'm adding my green onto my little piece of white plastic there, my little palette, if you will. And I'm going to blend those 2 colors to create a nice realistic, hopefully realistic looking wreath, using little brush strokes to kind of imitate, you know, a live wreath, live pine boughs, as well as the tree. You can see me go in there and just try and add some texture, so some nice little strokes, and you can darken it up wherever you see fit. And we will add some red to the bow, and we should be ready to start assembling. Once we've colored all of our elements just beautifully, we're going to attach them all, and it's going to come together quite quickly. So we're going to attach our window frames onto our nice glowing glass, and we'll do that for all four. Now I like doing this with craft glue instead of sticky specs or something like that, just so that you still have a little bit of time to move them around and get them just so in your arrangement. So again, this needle nose glue applicator is my absolute favorite for just getting just the tiniest amount of glue is all you need to get those frames to stick on there. So once we have those put together, we'll get our little one for the attic, our little attic room. Finish him up. Then we're going to move on to building our wreath. So really all that is just gluing the little ribbon right onto our wreath, setting it aside to dry. Next, should we build our door? So we can put our little teensy tiny hinges on there if you chose to make those. I just colored mine a nice golden kind of brassy color. So maybe if you're finding it difficult to work with these teensy tiny pieces, some tweezers could definitely come in handy here. So I've got my 2 hinges and my doorknob going on. Again, set it aside to dry. My wreath looks pretty well done. So I'm going to apply glue to the back of that and stick it on the front of my door. So now I'll put my windows on. And you can design your house however you want. So here's my door in the center, and I will apply the windows with craft glue on either side, and we want to get them fairly centered here. Or at least I do. Again, you do whatever makes you happy for your Christmas house. And then I'm going to apply my upstairs windows there. So I've got all my windows on and my shutters. The door is good to go. So now I am applying glue to tack on my icicles to my roof. So I decided to put them behind so it looked like the icicles were coming down underneath. And then I will attach my lights on there as well. My little string, and you could color that cord if you wanted to make it pop. You could do red and green alternating, whatever makes you happy and puts you in the Christmas spirit this year. So we've got our lights on there. Now we've got our little, is it called a dormer, I think? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I'm right. My partner's in construction. He did residential construction, and I really should know what that's called, but I digress. So I've got my icicles on my little attic roof, and the window built on, my chimney top put in there. I'm going to apply the roof to our little maybe dormer. And then we will attach our window and attach all those elements to the roof. Once our roof is built, I just wanted to go in and add a little bit more shadow to the left side, the bottom and left side of all of the elements on our house, just to add a little more depth and maybe make it look a little bit more realistic. So I just went in with a dark brown and added some shadow there to our windows, as well as the door. So now it's time to put, I guess, the roof on this little house. Easy to do, just a thin strip of glue there, and we tack our roof on. Set it just so. Again, I love doing it with glue. You can wiggle it around a little and make sure it's straight. And then we toss all of our elements on along with a little sentiment, and there you have it, guys. Merry Christmas!
So that's it. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you did follow along and make some of these projects, please post them and share them to our Facebook group, Crafting with Ecstasy. I would love to see your work, and maybe we can get some inspiration going both ways. Show me what you guys are working on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our blog at ecstasycrafts.com, and we will see you soon. Happy crafting!